Hey everyone, I'm Mike Murtis and you're watching Gamer Logic. Thanks for taking the time to check out yet another episode of the show, and today is going to be a very special one. We're headed down to the basement, we're going to enter a time machine, and we are going to check out the very first Pentium PC that I ever owned. My very first Windows PC that I ever owned. Let's go check it out right now. So hello folks, welcome to the arcade slash studio slash whatever the heck it is I do down here in my basement. And right in front of us here is something that is very near and dear to my heart. You know, I picked up a Mister recently, right? And totally fell in love with the 486 core that basically plays DOS games like it's a 486 processor. Well, I didn't grow up with a 486 processor by the time I got my first actual computer. Of course, as a kid, I had a Commodore 64, but during my early teens and preteens, I managed to get my very first computer. And that computer was a Packard Bell. And again, this is not the exact model I had when I was a kid, but it's pretty damn close. What's the differences? Well, the Packard Bell I had was a Pentium 100, 8 megabytes of RAM, 850 megabyte hard drive, 2 megabytes of video memory, a 14.4 baud rate modem. It was a pretty kick-ass machine at the time. And I'll never forget when my friend came over who had a 486 computer and he played Doom and a few other games on it that I had. He was just blown away by how much faster it was than his 486. And not knowing any better, just knowing that, you know, hey, it's all about the Pentiums, baby. This was the model to pick up at Best Buy at the time that's what I was going to get. And that would be my first PC. And that Packard Bell computer, it didn't last as long as it should have for the price we paid for it. The internal video board went bad on it. The integrated video, I should say, went bad. But that's how I learned how to open up a computer and replace a video card. And that's really what kind of kick-started my interest in getting into IT and other stuff because, hey, I wanted to be able to get this computer working, and the funds were just not available in my family to go buy just another PC. So yeah, learned a lot from this generation of computers. So again, you know, I picked up the Mister core, I picked up Mister, played the 486 core, loved the hell out of it, and it made me just so nostalgic to want to have this computer model again. So I got one that's fairly close. It still has the original sticker on here. It still has the original hard drive in it. You'll notice that this is in fact not the original CD-ROM with it. It came with a 8-speed CD-ROM drive and it's having some issues. So in order to get this thing working, I just flopped it out with a burnable DVD RW drive. Man, you know, it's funny, even optical drives these days are starting to go bye-bye and you don't even have places for them in cases. It's all USB now. But yeah, I have slowly brought this thing back to life. You know, when I booted it up, it had Windows 98 on it with the existing hard drive. It was slow as hell. Wanted to get it to just a pure DOS environment, which I kind of did. It's got DOS 6.22 on it. Now I think it's actually at DOS 7.0, I believe it is, because I do have Windows 95 on there. Now when I grew up, the PC model that I had, Packard Bell, actually had Windows 3.11 on there. But putting Windows 3.11 on this thing is just so archaic that I was like, I'll meet myself in the middle and I'll go with Windows 95 because that was really the OS that played nice with this computer. So yeah, this is a Pentium 133. This has got 32 megabytes of RAM. I want to say it's like a 1.2, 1.5 gigabyte hard drive. Replace the drive. Original disk drive works great. It had one of those Aztec sound card / modem combos in there, which is a real pain in the ass to get working. They've got real specific drivers to them that just doesn't play nice in Windows 95. So I replaced that with the Sound Blaster 16. And wanting to get off of the onboard video due to the paranoia I had when I was a kid of the video card breaking, I picked up a Matrox Mystique or a Matrox Millennium 2 video card, PCI based. Everything else was ISA in this thing. And even though I love the old hard drive in this thing, I did opt to go with compact flash. Haven't decided if I'm going to add a network card into this thing or not. And I also recently acquired this HP monitor. So why don't we start up this bad boy? And we'll switch the video in a minute. Let's give this some power here. And let's turn on the goodness. We'll boot up the DOS and then we'll switch the angle here really quick. Look at that. 32 megabytes of RAM. 100 and, did I say 130? I guess 120 megahertz. Is that right? I'll have to look now. But we've got the ATA flash card in there. We've got the DVD-ROM. She sits for a little bit. I'm still working on the perfect autoexec.bat and config.sys, but it does boot first to DOS. Give me my CD-ROM drive. Give me my Sound Blaster. Give me Cute Mouse, and boom, we are configured. So let's switch the camera angle a little bit, and we'll load up some games on this boy, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. Alright, so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I don't have an external mic connected to the iPhone or anything, and my air conditioning is going down here, kind of the crux of having all this stuff down in an unfinished basement. One of these days, I'm going to get this thing finished, but I digress. So yeah, as talked about in the other part of the video, super excited to have this original computer model, though I did have some initial issues at first. For whatever reason, this model Packer Bell, if you use a Windows 95 upgrade disk, and it is a early Windows 95 upgrade disk, it'll actually kill the second IDE channel because somehow Windows 95 thinks there's an external one and it shuts off the second port, which is the second CD-ROM drive actually. And then it tells plug and play in BIOS, disable that second channel. So I actually thought I somehow broke it, or the IDE controller failed, or whatever the reasoning is. And just by some random chance, looking things up on the internet, I found out that if you use a more modern Windows 95 install disk and do a clean install, it'll basically bring that channel back to life. So just kind of funny, some of those strange nuances that Windows 95 and stuff had as an OS. I know people hated the thing, and as a kid back in the day, really didn't understand that. It was such a step up from Windows 3.11 that ran like crap on my on this computer. So I thought 95 was awesome, and I do see it's got its number of issues. But yeah, this bad boy just boots right into DOS, and I do have the sound card working. I have the video card working, though there's still some drivers and stuff I need to add to it. The VESA drivers, I think it's VESA, they're like the 2.0, running that just to get like the cleanest video signal possible. All this stuff is starting to come back to me from when I was a kid, and just learning tips and tricks from like PC Gamer magazine and stuff. So really cool to have this back together. Of course, I got an original Amiga that was recently given to me as well, which is cool to have this over here. And my buddy Chris gave me his Windows 98 PC, so I even have a 98 environment PC to kind of jump to. But for DOS and Windows 95 games, this is perfect. And oops, drop that. I've got a number of things on here which are really awesome. Of course, the classic, right, is a big one that I used to play all the time, and that is Duke 3D. Got the sound. I have a Gravis gamepad. I recently picked this up because I wanted to go 100% like I used to play, so I need to calibrate the joystick center, upper left, and I accidentally hit too many buttons, so that just killed things for me, but Sound Blaster 16 working good. Classic.
Let's rock. Dave, who's in the best to the paper shooting up my ride?
I'm not going to play forever, I promise. So I got this on here. I've got, the shareware version of Quake. One interesting thing about this that it just rebooted for whatever reason. If I try to quit Duke Nukem 3D, it just kind of stalls. Here, quitting the title, it just actually rebooted the computer, which works out nice. But yeah, I got Quake, Duke 3D, Alone in the Dark. I've got a number of big box PC games, which I'll cover in another video. But I actually picked up something super classic that I want to talk about for this video because it really ties into having my first Pentium PC. And that, as you may have saw, is a copy of the ultimate Doom. Doom was the second first-person shooter I ever played on an IBM PC, Wolfenstein being the first over at Best Buy. But I'll never forget the first time I played Doom. It was an amazing experience. And funny enough, I'll never forget the first time I saw DOS. We were at Best Buy trying out Wolfenstein 3D. The menu came up and we hit exit, and it threw us out to DOS. And not knowing what the hell DOS was, we thought we broke the damn computer and we walked away from it. It was pretty hilarious, knowing what we know now and knowing what I would know when it came to figuring out how to install the ultimate Doom, right? This kid that just got this computer, woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, got his first PC. I think we went to Sam's Club and got a copy of the ultimate Doom, and I was so excited how to figure out and play it. And when I went to Classic Game Fest in Austin, I was able to find the ultimate Doom in the box with the signed poster, everything in it. So now I've really got a big chunk of my childhood back in terms of PC gaming, which has really gone unforgotten, or has really gone forgotten for me for a number of years. So I don't have Ultimate Doom installed on here right now, but we're going to go ahead and do that. So there we go, Ultimate Doom. What are we looking at here? We're going to install. This also has a Heretic demo on there, which is awesome. I want to install it to C. We're going to change Doom. Yes. So exciting. So there were instructions that was in this, getting to DOS was one thing, right? Let's see, does it have in here the little instruction card on how to get the game installed? Let's see, that's my Duango authorization code, that's the poster. If I remember right, here's the RSAC rating system, which is hilarious. Let's see, is there one more thing in here? I don't think there is. I think it's actually, it's in the manual, I think, itself as a separate document. Yep. So I'm pretty sure this is what I used here to figure out how to get Doom installed on a computer, right? And I'm going through this thing. You gotta remember, I'm a young kid. Installing Doom from 3.5 disks, okay, so I realized that's not what I had. It was talking about, it's developed to run properly on a 46 or better with 8 meg of RAM. installing Doom for 3.5 disc, installing Doom from your CD. If your computer boots up into Windows, make sure you've exited Windows entirely before attempting installation. You can do this by clicking File on the top left of your program manager and then clicking on Exit Windows. Click on OK to fully exit Windows. So as a young kid, this is how I learned how to get into DOS. Putting the CD-ROM drive in your CD-ROM drive, or putting the Doom CD in your CD-ROM drive, going to the D drive, assuming it's D of course, typing install, doing C, step-by-step instructions to get this going. And then once Doom is properly configured, start Doom by typing Doom. Man, this takes me back. It's so amazing to have the original documentation for this stuff, you know, for my sake. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue the installation here. So I'm gonna do keyboard and joystick. I'm gonna do a Sound Blaster. I think we're at 220 Sound Blaster. We're also at 220. You cannot use an IRQ higher than 9 or sound card doesn't support it. Please modify your sound card's IRQ or digital sound effects will not work. Okay, so we're not going to have that because I think my IRQ is actually at 10, I want to say. So that's okay. We'll mess with that stuff later. But I'm just going to do save parameters and launch Doom. There we go. Ultimate Doom is starting up. Center joystick, button 1, upper left, lower right. Okay, sound fire's working. At least the music's working. Yeah, it's working. So imagine, God damn, that sounds so good. Imagine me finally getting Doom to work as a kid. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just so pumped up. So I'm just gonna play a level really quick. Again, I'm sure you guys don't want me to go through this entire thing, but going full screen on this bad boy, and we're in. When I first hooked this up, I had a 45-inch TV, LCD TV, which is a big mistake when you're trying to run DOS games on this. One, it just widescreen the holy hell out of everything. And two, Doom is like just so fast. It never made me sick as a kid, but playing it on a TV where it's like encapsulating you like completely, it just made me want to barf. So I decided that I wanted to get a CRT monitor hooked up for this, like a true computer monitor. And I have a giant one in my Neo Geo cabinet. My Neo Geo, not my original NVS, but my washer dryer combo machine, as everyone likes to tell me it looks like. So I tried that. It's a 21-incher, and the damn thing is huge. I actually thought that's what broke my second IDE channel on the motherboard because it was so heavy, and I put it on top of the thing. I don't know what I was thinking, but that turned out not to be the case. But a quick Facebook Marketplace search, and I was able to find a young guy that was selling a really nice HP Pavilion monitor for $30. He said he had it on here for 5 or 6 months, and he upgraded to a bigger one. And it was cool because the kid had to be like 10, 15 years younger than me, if not more. And he said, like, yeah, I use this monitor on my modern computer to play the Elder Scrolls Arena. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He's like, oh, you know what that is? I was like, yeah, I totally know what that is. But it worked out great. It's working great for this PC, and you just can't beat hooking up a CRT onto a classic computer. That being said, the Mister still kicks a tremendous amount of ass, and the amount of work I put into this thing to get it working was a lot, almost a little ridiculous, right? So if you're looking to, get an easy way to do DOS stuff, you can't go wrong with Mister. Absolutely can't go wrong with Mister. But for me, I got that nostalgic bug, and now I'm starting to pick up more big box PC stuff. You can't go wrong there. So I'm gonna stop the video now because I could keep going forever talking about this. But again, it just feels so great to have almost the exact same model I had as a kid, the Gravis gamepad with speakers hooked up to it, with the original poster. When I was a kid, I had my Packard Bell computer in the basement, my parents' basement, and right behind the monitor was the signed Doom poster, and we stapled it, unfortunately, so when we took it off the wall, it got totally wrecked. I'm framing that bad boy. It's going up on here, and yes, one of these damn days, I'm going to finish the basement and have proper walls. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this nostalgic trip back to my childhood PC days. Pentium 100, 120, 130, whatever. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch GamerLogic. If you enjoyed what you just watched, please take a moment and leave a thumbs up on this video. If you think someone else would enjoy this video, please share it, and don't forget to subscribe to see future GamerLogic videos. If you'd like more GamerLogic content, then be sure to follow me on Instagram for daily photos and videos full of fantastic video game related content. On Facebook, be sure to check out the official GamerLogic Facebook page for even more content. See you next time!